Hello and welcome. I'm doing something a little different from my usual painting today. I'm participating in a Nightmare Before Christmas challenge with some of my Aussie YouTuber art friends. We're all using the prompt of the Tim Burton movie, The Night Before Christmas, and using a round format. I'll pop the links to the others in the description so that you can see all the different artwork that comes from using the same prompt. As you can see, I've chosen a round gift box to work on. It's one of those hat boxes that's got a kind of craft paper finish, and I'm planning to paint on the lid, so the first step is to gesso the box to give it a bit of protection. I was going to use my regular white gesso, but apparently I haven't used that for a while because it's all dried up, so I had to find something else, and luckily I found a bottle of clear gesso. It doesn't really matter because I'm going to be completely covering the surface with paint. And it's not my usual watercolour today, but water mixable oils. I've got a growing collection of juicy colours in a couple of different brands, but I do like the water soluble ones. I kind of avoid the normal oils at all costs. And I've got a variety of colours, but I'm thinking blues and turquoise, I think. So I'll pop a few of those onto my disposable paper palette just to get started. But I usually have to add bits and pieces as I go along because I make it all up as I paint rather than executing a well thought out plan, because that doesn't sound fun to me at all. So the first thing I had to do for this challenge was to repair a big hole in my life experience to date and actually see the movie The Nightmare Before Christmas. Am I the only one who hadn't seen it? Not sure how I missed it. Anyway, I do love a spot of sci-fi and fantasy, but when it comes to art, I'm more drawn to the unicorns and fairy dust end of the spectrum. So I was a little bit concerned about what I would be able to paint for this challenge that was going to be in keeping with the Nightmare Before Christmas theme. If you haven't seen the movie either, it's a story about Jack, the Pumpkin King of Halloween Town, who's having a bit of an existential crisis, poor lad. He's unsure of his life choices, so he sets off to ponder things a bit. He happens upon a place called Christmas Town and is totally taken by all the bright and shiny joys of Christmas. So much so that he thinks that actually his calling might be to be Santa Claus. He doesn't really understand it all, but he gathers up some bits and pieces to further his research into this whole Christmas business and to educate his people in the delights of Christmas. And he takes up a gift to show them because he's mesmerised by these lovely packages covered in colourful paper and ribbons. And that's what I've chosen as my subject for today, a lovely bright and shiny gift complete with ribbon. As much as I love watercolour, and always will, there is also something terribly marvellous about thick, buttery oil paint. It's still a very new medium to me, but I use it the same way I use any medium, I think, in a loose and painterly fashion. So much fun. Oil paints do take rather a long time to dry, obviously, but since these are water mixable, they will be a little bit quicker, but I'm still not going to be able to use the lid of this gift box for a good week or two. Working in a new medium is a bit of a brain exercise, because if you go like I do from watercolour to oil paint, you're kind of having to completely reverse the way you work. By which I mean, when I'm painting in watercolour, I start with white paper, which means all the lights are already down there, and then I go about covering up everything that isn't supposed to be white. But with oil paint, I'm kind of doing the opposite. I start by putting in all the darks, and then place thicker and thicker layers of paint on top, ending usually with those white highlights. While I'm just putting the finishing touches to the background and the sides of this hatbox lid, I did just want to say a big thank you to my fellow Aussie Art Youtubers who are participating in this challenge. I thought the prompt would make me try a different subject matter, so it was a bit of a surprise that I ended up with a different medium. I've put a link to the channels of the other participants in the description of my video, so please go and visit my arty friends and see what magic they've been making this festive season. Thanks for watching, and have a Merry Christmas.
Up on the housetop, reindeer paws, out jumps good old Santa Claus, down through the chimney with lots of